was just lucky enough to literally be able to walk through the gates of the White House, walk through the West Wing, walk into the Oval Office without anyone blinking. And I was always there, and that was part of my role, was always being there. And I call it not necessarily being a fly on the wall, but more like a piece of furniture in the room.
For 8 years, photographer Eric Draper spent every day with the most powerful person in the world.
The importance of having the White House photographer is basically to have a photographer to create a visual record of a presidency, of administration. And that's the primary role. And those photographs that are historical documents become part of the record of the administration. So currently, all the photos that I took for 8 years are now housed in the Presidential Library in Dallas, Texas.
Shadowing the president during his 2 terms in office, Eric Draper traveled to nearly 70 countries, taking almost 1 million pictures.
We don't throw away any photos. Every image is considered a presidential record, so all the outtakes, all the good photos, bad photos, it's all there, and it's all part of the archive.
Draper got a unique opportunity to see President George Bush, the man.
That's the privilege I had, to be able to see the human side, the personal side of the presidency. I was able to see his family life, not only to document him as Commander-in-Chief, but as a father, as a husband, as a dog owner. I see all those aspects of his life.
But for the country, some of the most powerful images he took were on September 11th, 2001.
I was with the president at the elementary school in Sarasota, Florida, and I spent the entire day with the president aboard Air Force One, back at the White House, and that entire week following 9/11. I think those images are just incredible to look back at that time. And while I was focusing on the president's emotions at the time, I was kind of like putting mine aside. And that was part of the job, I think that was probably the only way I could get through it all, because the events were so momentous that I didn't really digest my emotions till months after those events. So it was, I think those times I'll remember the most. On days like that, I truly felt invisible, where I was standing just inches from the president while he was making these very important decisions, and it felt like he was looking right through me, because he was so focused on his job that day.
Draper was the ultimate insider, but despite being privy to some of the most classified events and conversations, his focus was on his job.
It's something called photo amnesia, where I was so focused on the technical aspects making the picture and not really listening. So it's and it goes both ways. And there's some moments I can remember word for word. In other moments, I just remember exactly what the expression that was on the president's face at that moment. So it's a very different way of experiencing events like this.
Despite capturing moments from some of the greatest events in American history, Draper's favorite photograph was an image he took early on in Bush's presidency.
It's a photo that I took from Texas on the ranch, and it's kind of more of a portrait. He's wearing the iconic cowboy hat, and he's driving his pickup truck, and he kind of has a little smile on his face, a little twinkle in his eye, and I think it really captures his personality and his spirit. But also the timing of the photo is really interesting, because it's a month before 9/11. So every time I see the picture, I see a sense of innocence before the world changed.